All right. We here another week, and please forgive my voice. This allergy's been killing me. I've been sick for a couple of weeks, and it's not fun at all. It's not fun getting old and find out that you actually have allergies, especially here in Alabama. How about you, Andy?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, Tony. And, I feel a little bit, you and I are not terribly far in age, even though you look a lot younger than I do. But I feel a little bit like, gosh, was it Bobby Brady on the Brady Bunch when his voice started changing? And so, yeah, going through the same thing, man. The pollen is out in full force, and, you know, the buyers are out in full force too. So I guess that's a good thing.
That is a great thing, definitely. And you're right about that. The buyers are in full force right now, and they're looking for different products. They're looking for different options. And speaking of options, what's going on with the Federal Reserve this week?
Yeah, the Federal Reserve met last week. That was the week of the 18th of March. And what they decided to do was nothing. And the reason that's a big deal is because the economic news that's been coming out has been very strong. Also, in addition to that, the inflation data that's been coming out has been higher than what the Federal Reserve would like to see. And so, really, I was concerned that the Federal Reserve was going to say, well, you know what? We said we were going to lower rates later in 2024 three times, but now we might only lower them two times or one time or not at all. And that would have caused the mortgage rates to really shoot up on us pretty quickly. But the Federal Reserve didn't say that. They didn't give any indication that they were leaning towards having fewer rate cuts. So, with that being said, interest rates actually improved last week. And, like I said, I'm glad to see it. I don't know how long lived that's going to be, but we need to take advantage of it, and our buyers need to take advantage of it while they can.
That is correct. That is correct. I guess in this case, no news are good news,
Very true. Very
and
true.
especially for the buyers. They're looking for a property and everything. So if the interest rate didn't either went up or down, stay steady, take advantage of it, go apply for a mortgage, call Andy, apply for the mortgage with Andy, and we move from there. Because if eventually the federal government decide to, lower the interest or do whatever that is that they do that helps lower interest, you already are in the house. You already bought it at today's price instead of tomorrow price, and you already beat the race of being running and making multiple offers and competing against a lot of buyers that's going to be out there when the interest rates drop dramatically, if they drop. Correct?
Right. Very true. And that's a big if. No one knows. No one can predict what interest rates are going to do. And, a lot of people say, well, it's an election year and the politician who's in office today wants to be in office after the election. So they'll get the interest rates to drop, the mortgage rates to drop. That'll pick the economy up. Well, you know,
That's more like a wishful thinking, Andy, because based on my experience, I thinking about it, I've never seen that really happening.
yeah. So I looked back. I actually did some research on that and said, hey, what is the history of interest rates in an election year? And out of the last 14 elections, rates went down eight times and up six times in that year.
Wow.
So there's no real correlation between a presidential election year and interest rates. And so in theory, it sounds great, with the Federal Reserve is going to help the president out and try to get him reelected, but
Yeah,
there's no science to that at all.
yeah,
There's no
that
evidence.
is a wishful thinking. I think that's more like a media thing, and well, everything is a media thing.
Yeah.
Whatever we see on the news and why not is like coming to this question now. With you heard what's going on with NAR? They settled down, but it has not been approved. That's supposed to happen until July and everything about the commissions and why not. And it's been a lot of misinformation about that. That's going to the general public. So my suggestion is always talk to your trusted realtor about what's going on with that, how it will affect you. It will have some, especially for the buyers. The buyers need to, talk to a real estate agent before decide to do something. And actually, realtors and mortgage lenders need to be talking together about what's going on, because what's coming is if the seller decides not to pay commission, not to cooperate or give any concession, it's going to be coming out of the buyer's pocket. So with that say, Andy, and that's coming. That is, I don't have a crystal ball. I cannot predict the future, but I don't see how we can avoid that. But probably partnering with a great mortgage broker like Andy, we can find ways to help you with that. And in some ways that we can help the consumers with down payment assistance or grants, or what is it out there that you can see right now that maybe can help the buyers with what is coming?
Yeah, there are quite a few programs out there, just what you said, down payment assistance programs. And those can come in the form of either a grant or a second mortgage. And now most of the grants do not have to be repaid, given certain circumstances, certain conditions having been met. And so that's why the grants are particularly attractive to a lot of buyers. They, hey, it's free money. Why wouldn't we want it? Well, here's the downside to grant money. Most grant money is available for a very limited time because there's just a certain allotment of funds. And once those funds are gone, the grant program is over for the year. They won't get another allotment of funds until next year. So that's number one. And number two, think about that. The timing of those funds, when the company that's doing the grant comes out and says today, hey, on April the 10th, we're going to release our new allotment of funds for our grant program, and it's $10 million worth. So that means that the buyers who are out there who want to get the grant money have to find the perfect house starting from April the 10th until those funds run out. And a lot of times that's hard because you end up in that springtime market of what we were talking about earlier, where sellers are getting multiple offers. And, it can be a stressful time for a buyer because they're trying to take advantage of this grant money, yet they can't get a contract accepted. They can't get an offer accepted on a property. And so that can create some stress, but those grant programs are there, they're available. If the grant money doesn't work or it's not available when the buyer finds their perfect home, then there's down payment assistance programs that are available in the form of a second mortgage, where the buyer can actually get a second mortgage for either a certain dollar amount or a certain percentage of the sales price of the home. Some of those second mortgages are repayable, and some of them are non-repayable, again, upon certain conditions being met. So, we're trying to keep this video as brief as possible and try not to overwhelm the viewers a whole lot. But that's where just calling and having a conversation with me will really pay off. And I can kind of tell the buyer, hey, you know, out of the 6 different down payment assistance programs that we have, number 1, you'll qualify for these 3. But number 2, out of those 3, this one looks like it's the best one for you. But, you know, you may still qualify for these 3. And if you want to pursue one of these other 2 options, then you certainly can. We won't try to talk you out of doing that. We want you to do what you feel like's best for you, but it's up to us to give a little guidance along the way. So
those are great options and everything. Now, let me ask you a quick question.
okay,
Can those grants or those assistance programs can be combined?
that's a good question. Yes and no.
Okay.
So there are some programs out there that, for example, we have a program through Fannie Mae where Fannie Mae is offering to pay up to $1,250 of someone's closing cost or prepaids if they go on this program and they qualify for this loan. Now that $1,250 can be combined with one of these other grant programs, or it can be combined with down payment assistance. So in that case, yes. But if you're looking at trying to combine multiple grants or multiple second mortgages, most of the time, that's a no. So it gets a little muddy, it gets a little tricky, but that's, again, where a little guidance from us can go a long way in getting that buyer some education and some understanding
Yeah.
of what's out there.
And also, you know, we need to remind people that these go on a case by case basis. Not everybody qualify for that. There is not a
Right.
guarantee that that's going to happen to you or anything. That's why it's important that, first of all, you call Andy, you contact somebody that you trust. Second of all, you tell the truth. You tell them this is what I want. This is because we got some people that they're fishing around and they're not comfortable with stating everything that needs to be known, and it's kind of like a pulling teeth, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard, especially for a mortgage banker. But that's something that people need to understand. This is not for everybody. Not everybody qualify for that. And if you want to know and you want to see if you qualify or not, what are the requirements or not, you just do something very simple. You pick up your phone and you call Andy. And Andy, what number they can call you?
205-979-4412, extension 1.
That's
How about
correct. So, you know, you have it easy. You call Andy, Andy answer all your questions. If he doesn't know, he'll find out for you. Trust me, he will, and he will get back to you. And then when Andy got you qualified, all you have to do is just call me, 205-370-3248, and I'll find the right house that fit all your needs for you and your family. And as usual, Andy, it's always a pleasure seeing you around here. I enjoy doing these videos with you and everything, and I hope we see you soon.
That sounds great. Thanks, Tony. See you next time.
Thank you, guys. See you next time.
Goodbye.